An open letter to President Trump and American friends. How to make America great again. The Earth's operating system is failing. What we need is a system upgrade, not another patch. At the 2025 Climate Action Summit, the UN Secretary General warned again, we are sleepwalking into climate hell, while holding the key to close the furnace door. Meanwhile, global carbon dioxide levels have exceeded 425 parts per million, 150% of the pre-industrial level. Latest data from the World Meteorological Organization shows that 2025 became the third hottest year on record. The global average temperature is 1.44 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level. All of the past 11 years rank among the hottest years ever recorded. Figures from the EU's Copernicus Climate Change Service are more specific. In 2025, half of the world's land areas experienced an unusual increase in days of high heat stress. This is not a climate problem to be solved. It is the final crash warning from an old civilizational operating system. At the same time, global debt has exceeded $307 trillion, 3 times the size of the global economy. Governments, international institutions, and climate conferences are still looking for answers. In the old world toolbox, more negotiations, more complex carbon trading mechanisms, stricter environmental regulations, and more green investment pledges. They ignore a simple fact. You cannot solve problems with the same mindset that created them. The climate crisis, debt crisis, and social division are not isolated issues. They are multiple system error warnings popping up at the same time. As an outdated civilizational operating system hits physical limits, the real solution is not to fix these errors one by one, but to install a brand new operating system for human civilization. 1. The old system, a death spiral based on scarcity and fear. The current global system is built on 3 mutually reinforcing core flaws. First flaw, debt-based money creates artificial scarcity. The modern economy relies on a debt-driven monetary system. Money is essentially a debt certificate that claims future resources. This design has embedded a fatal logic from birth. The system must keep growing, or the debt chain will break. Data from the Bank for International Settlements shows that the global debt-to-GDP ratio has soared from 200% in 2008 to over 330% today. The worship of growth directly translates into infinite extraction of the Earth's resources. When the physical limits of the ecosystem begin to appear, the old system does not adjust its goals. Instead, it tries to incorporate natural capital into the debt growth game through financial engineering, such as carbon trading. Second flaw, information asymmetry solidifies power structures. In the old system, information is the source of power. Technology companies monopolize user data through algorithms. Governments monopolize decision-making information through bureaucracies. Financial institutions monopolize economic information through complex models. This systemic information asymmetry leads to a serious consequence. Society cannot form un effectif consensus on the nature of the crisis and its solution. People only see fragmented phenomena, extreme weather, rising living costs, job instability. The systemic connections behind these phenomena are completely blocked by information barriers. Third flaw, competitive assumptions about human nature create collective irrationality. The old system is built on the assumption that human nature is selfish and must be restrained through competition. The entire education system, corporate management, and international relations are structured around this assumption. As a result, the prisoner's dilemma becomes the social norm. Everyone knows cooperation is best for all, but the system punishes cooperators and rewards defectors. This flaw is most obvious in the climate issue. Every country knows that cooperative emission reduction is in the global interest, but everyone fears economic losses if they cut emissions while others do not. The final result is a collective march toward climate disaster. The discovery of a new continent. We are already in another world, while we are overwhelmed by the problems of the old world. A brand new world has quietly emerged, the internet world. This new world has physical laws completely different from the old one. 1. Land is infinite. Every smartphone is a new piece of land. In the internet world, more than 5 billion smartphones worldwide form an infinitely expanding New continent. 2. Laboris infinite. The more than 10 billion hours of online time contributed by global internet users every day constitute an inexhaustible labor force for this new world. This time creates massive data, content, and social connections, all of which are huge values that the old world cannot measure. 3. Value creation has zero marginal cost. In the internet world, the marginal cost of copying en application an article or piece of code approaches zero. This means value creation can be superimposed infinitely without consuming physical resources. However, we manage this new world with the rules of the old world. Technology companies privatize the land platforms of the new continent, commodify users' labor data, and monopolize the zero marginal cost replication capability. As a result, the infinite value created by the new world is captured by a small number of companies, while the global users who create these values become the useless class. This is the root of all contradictions. We are using an old map in the new world and keep getting lost. 3. The new operating system. A consumer-owned public market. The key to solving the problem is not far away, but in our hands. Global smartphone users only need to do one thing: realize that they are the legitimate owners of the new internet continent, and unite in this identity. The concrete form of this unity is a consumer-owned universal public market. It is not another technology, platform, but the constitution, infrastructure, and governance system of the new internet continent, core algorithm of the new system. This system operates based on a simple and profound mathematical equation. Consumer selfish cooperation equals producer selfless competition. In this equation, consumer selfishness, an axiom that needs no proof. Everyone naturally wants higher quality products and services at a lower cost. Cooperation digitally unite global consumers through technology to form a unified purchasing power and collective ownership. Result: competition among producers, entrepreneurs, bankers, capitalists, and all parties providing products and services is no longer competition in capital scale and marketing capabilities, but competition in real technological innovation, efficiency improvement, and ecological friendliness. Revolutionary features of the new system. 1. Absolute information symmetry. A globally unified public market means that all transaction information, product lifecycle data, technical solutions, and user feedback are transparent and accessible in the same system. Information monopoly is completely broken, and exploitative business models based on information asymmetry will naturally disappear. 2. Morality becomes a built-in attribute rather than an external constraint. When the system design makes the individual's optimal choice, obtaining high-quality and low-cost products, completely consistent with the collective optimal result. Producer innovation, ecological friendliness. Morality is no longer a virtue to be advocated, but a mathematical necessity of system operation. People's moral level will naturally improve due to structural changes. 3. Redefinition of labor and reward. The public market locks in all future consumption and charges a fixed proportion of commission. Since future consumption is infinite infinity, system profit is also infinite infinity. These profits are returned to global consumers as owners in the form of dividends. Result: humanity will achieve universal basic dividends for the first time. Wages are no longer a necessary condition for human survival. The motivation for work will shift from having to work to wanting to create. 4. Fundamental transformation of the direction of technology. In the old system, technological innovation is mainly driven by venture capital, pursuing short-term returns, and monopoly. In the new system, technological innovation is driven by the collective needs of global consumers. When consumers care not about price tags, but about the full life cycle, ecological impact of products, the direction of technological development will naturally shift to resource efficiency, recycling, and ecological restoration. The climate crisis. Dissolved, not solved. Under the new operating system, the climate crisis will not be solved, but dissolved. Dissolution mécanisme, natural elimination of growth pressure. When the economy no longer relies on debt-driven GDP growth, but takes consumer well-being and ecological health as core indicators, infinite extraction of the Earth's resources loses its systemic motivation. Enterprises no longer need to pursue unlimited expansion to repay debts and satisfy shareholders. Dissolution.Mécanisme.de internalization of ecological costs as the default option. In a fully information-symmetric public market, the full life cycle ecological cost of a product from raw material extraction, production, transportation, and sale to final disposal is completely transparent. Consumers can easily compare the real ecological costs of different products and make rational choices. Products with high ecological costs will be naturally eliminated by the market. Dissolution.Mécanisme.What collaborative release of global intelligence at present solving climate problems mainly relies on R&D departments of a few scientific research institutions and enterprises. In the new system, anyone can propose solutions based on fully transparent global data and obtain support from system resources. Solving climate problems will become an open innovation game involving billions of people worldwide. Dissolution.Mécanisme.4 fundamental reconstruction of the relationship between humans and nature. When humans no longer need nature for basic survival, when technological innovation takes ecological harmony as the primary goal, and when global information transparency makes any environmental destruction impossible, to hide the hostile relationship between humans and nature will naturally turn into a symbiotic relationship. Why this solution has not yet become consensus? Why has such a simple and powerful solution not yet become a global consensus? The reason is exactly the cognitive shackles of the old operating system. First shackle, global blind spots caused by professional segmentation. Climatologists only see carbon emission data. Economists only see growth models. And technical experts only see engineering. Solution? No one sees the common operating system. Error behind these phenomena. While improving efficiency, professional segmentation has created cognitive fragmentation. Second shackle, the inertial thinking of gradual reform. The old system has cultivated a mindset. Any change should be gradual, moderate, and not subvert the existing power structure. But operating system upgrades are always discontinuous and revolutionary. Leaps from DOS to Windows, from feature phones to smartphones, they are complete replacements, not gradual improvements. Third shackle, cognitive defense of vested interests. Beneficiaries of the old system, whether financial capital, tech giants, or traditional industries, will instinctively deny systemic problems and blame crises on technical details or poor implementation. Their solutions are always more of the same, more financial engineering, more technical fixes, more policy adjustments. 6. Launching the new system, a cognitive revolution. Installing the new operating system does not require a violent revolution, only a global cognitive awakening. The specific path is extremely simple. Step 1. Cognitive restart. Recognize the following 3 facts. 1. The internet has created a new world with completely different physical properties. 2. Each of us is a co-owner of this new world. 3. We can choose to continue ruining the new world with old rules or unite to make new rules. Step 2. Digital unity. Global consumers express support for the consumer-owned public market through existing social networks and technical tools, and form a digital consensus. When supporters reach a critical mass, possibly 1%, 5% of global internet users, the system will undergo a phased transition. Step 3. System switch. Based on the consensus of global consumers, start the technical development and deployment of the consumer-owned public market. This does not need to overthrow any existing institutions, but build a brand new parallel system next to the old system. Just like switching from the carriage era to the automobile era, we do not need to transform all carriages. We just need to start building roads and automobile production line. When the new system is obviously better than the old one, Migration will happen naturally. 7. Time window and historical responsibility. The latest IPCC report gives a clear time window. The world must reach peak emissions before 2025 and reduce emissions by 43% by 2030 to have a 50% chance of keeping warming within 1.5 degrees Celsius. The reform path of the old system has clearly failed. The outcomes of the 28th UN Climate Change Conference, COP28, once again prove that the old framework based on nation-state competition and short-term interest games cannot produce the collaborative action needed to address the crisis. We are standing at the singularity of civilization. On one side is the collective collapse caused by the old operating system. On the other is the civilizational leap opened by the new operating system. The choice is not between governments, but among the 5 billion smartphone users worldwide. Every click, every share, every conversation is a vote for the new world. The climate crisis is not the Earth's problem, but the incompatibility between the human civilizational operating system and the Earth's physical reality. The solution is not to install more carbon capture devices on the Earth, but to install a new operating system compatible with the Earth for human civilization. The installation package of this new operating system has been preloaded in every smartphone, waiting only for the collective confirmation of global users. When the last server of the old system shuts down, historians may write, humanity did not solve the climate crisis of the 21st century. They just grew into a civilization where the climate crisis no longer occurs. And we are standing on the threshold of these 2 civilizational stages. To step forward is not to enter the unknown, but to return to the track we should have been on, a track where people and technology, humans and nature, people live in harmony. The key is not on the international negotiating table, but on the glowing screen in your hand. Every time you choose what to focus on, what to consume, what to share, you are voting for the future operating system of this planet. The new world is not in the future, but in every choice you make right now.